Good evening to you and warm greetings. Welcome to Sinfonia Toronto's virtual gala. I'm Julie Nesrallah and I'll be your host for the evening. As you might already know, I lead a double life, both as an opera singer and as a classical music broadcaster. And today, I'll be doing a little bit of both. I will be your guide for this virtual gathering where I'll introduce you to some splendid artists. And then I'll also chip in with a couple of my own party pieces with the Seguedilla from Carmen and Mon cœur s'ouvre à ta voix from Samson et Dalila, which is the most meltingly beautiful and seductive aria ever written. You'll hear more about that later. But first, a friendly reminder about the silent auction that is taking place as part of the festivities. Sinfonia Toronto has been known to throw a pretty rockin' party in the fall to kick off their new season, and in past years, those parties have been in-person events at various venues in Toronto, with paper bid sheets laid out with a display of auction items. But this year, it's an online season kickoff, so the auction is online too. You're invited to open the auction link on your phone and bid on anything you like. You will see some gorgeous art books, wines, and there's even a harbor cruise. So have fun, happy hunting, and don't forget to keep an eye on your phone because you'll get an instant notification if someone tops your bid. And you can't let that happen. So last spring, when we all had to move over into the digital world, Sinfonia Toronto had to cancel several in-person concerts, but that did not stop the music. Nothing ever stops the music. Many of the orchestra's musicians recorded themselves at home, and those performances were sent out on social media platforms and Sinfonia Toronto's e-newsletter. And then something special happened. 12 of the orchestra's musicians got together online from all over the city and from Guelph to Montreal for a group project to record something that has become somewhat of a signature piece for them. Music director Nurhan Arman's own string orchestra arrangement of the waltz from Adam Khachaturian's Masquerade Suite. Everyone played their part at home, and then violinist Alex Toskov knit everything together in an ensemble video coordinated by tech wizardry instead of a conductor. So this waltz is unusual because much of it is in a minor key and it has a kind of a bit of a spooky feel to it instead of the usually sunshiny and cheerful major keys you normally hear in waltzes. But still, it's vigorous and it's fun and an excellent way to start your entertainment and a nice souvenir from the start of the online era. So sit back, have a sip of wine, and enjoy the Masquerade Waltz by Adam Khachaturian. performed at a distance and now heard at a distance, but in the intimacy of your own home. Good evening. I'm Julie Nesrallah, and I hope you are here at today's gala with someone close to you. This is an occasion for you and yours to share in social bubbles and drinkable bubbles, too. You just heard music from Khachaturian's Masquerade Suite, arranged by Maestro Nurhan Arman, which is also on one of the orchestra's CDs. They have made 4 recordings, one of which won a Juno Award. They also have other tracks available online on services like Naxos and iTunes, including one that was an amazing piece of history. Johann Sebastian Bach wrote an aria for a birthday celebration at the court of Saxe-Weimar in 1713. So after that first performance at court, the aria was packed away and lost until it was rediscovered by a German researcher only 15 years ago with other court documents in an old palace archive. Maestro Arman pulled some strings in Germany, pun intended, and obtained the parts in time for Sinfonia Toronto to give the very first orchestra performance since Bach's own performance almost 300 years earlier. Oh, no, hang on. Wait a minute. Do you hear that? Someone is knocking on our digital door. What's happening? Who's here?
Carissimi amici della Sinfonia Toronto, carissimo Nurhan, brindo a voi con tanti auguri e successo per la prossima stagione musicale. Speriamo di rivederci prestissimo. Vi abbraccio forte. Mario, ciao.
Ciao Mario, grazie. That was the orchestra's great friend and sometimes guest artist, the flute player, Mario Carbotta. So no bubbles, but some Italian red wine will do just fine. Mario lives in Voghera, in the region of Italy that was hardest hit and most severely quarantined last spring. But fortunately, he and his family all remained well. So, have you had a chance to check out the silent auction yet? I'm curious to know how your bids are going. That watermelon print is very cute. But now, back to Bach, because now you're going to hear some music from Sinfonia Toronto's principal cellist, Andras Weber, with a favorite movement by Bach. Bach's 6 cello suites are some of his most beloved pieces and some of his most performed and most listened to pieces around the world. The cello has a rich, chocolate vocal quality that most people seem to respond to, and Bach's brilliant melodies and rhythms make all the movements in each suite their own unique gem. Yo-Yo Ma made the cello suites even more famous in 6 music videos, and they are also the inspiration for the design of the Music Garden at Harbourfront here in Toronto. Andras is here to offer you the most famous movement of all, the Prelude from Bach's Cello Suite No. 1. Thank you so much, Andras. That was lovely. Andras Weber is one of the longest serving members of the orchestra. He won an audition and joined for the second season in 2001, surpassed by only one other member, the principal violist, Anthony Rappaport, who auditioned and joined the year before in Sinfonia Toronto's very first season. Shortly, you'll be hearing from the orchestra's founder and music director, Nurhan Arman. But before he looks forward to the new season, how about taking a little look back? Nurhan Arman says, back in the day, he wanted the orchestra to become known immediately. He wanted to start things off with a bang, so he purposefully chose one of the most difficult and most complex pieces in the repertoire, Beethoven's Great Fugue. Daring to perform Beethoven's Great Fugue for the orchestra's very first concert was the musical equivalent of shouting, "Look out, world, look at us, we are here." In addition to playing their Masterpiece Series concerts in Toronto every season, the orchestra has had some great adventures. Some of them have been weather-related, like making it through whiteout snowstorms to play in Brockville and Barrie, or frantically rebooking flights when the big ice storm in 2018 shut down the airport. They made it to Lima, Peru, with hardly enough time to change into concert clothes before the first performance on their South American tour. These are the things musicians have nightmares about, and a lot of them do come true. Other adventures have been more congenial ones, thanks to wonderful hospitality of hosts in other cities, in tour cities, a dinner with amazing wines in an underground wine cellar in Germany, a traditional meal in a historic Spanish inn, complete with plate smashing. How fun is that? And visits to a vineyard and an artisanal olive oil press in Argentina, and a chance to see the Great Wall of China. So yes, tours are a heck of a lot of hard work, but they're not all hard work. Soon it will be my turn to do some singing with the Seguidilla from Carmen with my great friend and excellent pianist, Parvene Eshki. Carmen is a role I never get tired of singing, perhaps because I love her character, I love her spirit, I love her defiant nature, and I love what Carmen values above all else: freedom. But first, it's time for a few words from the orchestra's music director, Nurhan Arman, who has had a long and wide career. Nurhan Arman started out as a solo violinist and concertmaster who has been a renowned maestro now for 4 decades. He is based here in Canada, but has been a guest conductor all over Europe, from the Moscow Philharmonic to the German Chamber Orchestra to the Ljubljana International Festival and many other orchestras, especially in Italy and including Korea, the US, Mexico, and South America. Nurhan Arman has also created many custom arrangements for Sinfonia Toronto that are now being used by other orchestras here in Canada and other countries around the world. Over to you, Maestro.
Hello, my name is Nurhan Arman and I'm the music director of Sinfonia Toronto. First of all, thank you very much for being with us today for our very first virtual gala event. I hope you are doing well, and I hope you are all set for a fresh start of the fall season, considering the last 6 months we have all been enduring. So I want to tell you a little bit about our wonderful orchestra, Sinfonia Toronto. It just happens to be that actually this month is our 22nd anniversary. It was in September of 1999 that we played our very first public performance. Since then, we have been working hard. We have been working very hard to bring great music to as many people as we can. We have played concerts in many corners of Ontario. We have made several international tours, twice in Europe, Germany, Spain, South America, and United States. And last year, today, we were touring in China. So now I want to tell you a little bit about our upcoming concert season in this new normal period. First thing to be said is that no, we didn't give up and quit. We feel that as an arts organization, we have a role to play and we can be part of the healing process. However, this season we have changed our mode of operations. In-person attendance at our concerts will be limited because of physical distancing, of course. Whatever audience that we can accommodate, though, will be under as safe conditions as possibly can be. The halls that we play in, the Kerner Hall and the Glen Gould Studio at CBC, they have the latest and best air ventilation systems, and they also have implemented some excellent safety procedures. The big change for us, of course, will be the live streaming of all our concerts. Our audiences will have the choice of watching our concerts and listening to some amazing programs. This reimagined new season, we hope, will relate to not only to our audiences in Toronto, but also to a global public, to a global audience. So 2020 is Beethoven's 250th. So poor Mr. Beethoven got such a bad deal for his big anniversary year because of the pandemic. Many concerts that organizations had planned had to be cancelled. This fall, we'll be playing his music at every concert. His birthday is actually in December, so our December concert is an all Beethoven program with the wonderful 7th Symphony and the C minor string quartet. So in classical concert business, normally it is the case that in order to break even, we need to sell each seat 3 or 4 times. You can of course imagine that with physical distancing, life is even going to be more challenging. So now, if you see an item that is being auctioned here today, feel free to raise the bid. You would be not only getting yourself still a very good deal, but also will be literally making music with us. I want to leave you by telling a Victor Borge story. The physical distancing seating in concert halls is really reminding me of this. Victor Borge was a classical pianist and a great comedian. He usually appeared as a pianist, and he spent quite a bit of time making jokes, acting like a stand-up comedian. So in this case, he was playing in a small city. I can't remember the name, but he goes on a stage and it's a fairly large hall, but hardly anybody there, very few people. So he came to the microphone and looked around and he said, "You must be all millionaires." Of course, audience didn't understand. He paused a bit and he said, "You, each one of you bought at least 50, 60 chairs for yourselves." So that's how the concerts are going to look like. And that's the new normal. So we'll see how it will all go. But of course, the virtual concerts are something I am very much looking forward to, because it is a great opportunity, and I'm sure that it is here to stay. So on that note, I thank you all and wish you the very best. Goodbye.
I just love that aria. Carmen is my soul sister. End of story. Always a pleasure to sing, whether with a full orchestra and cast and chorus, or with my piano partner in crime, Parvane Eshki. Aha. Behold, another pianist. Hello, Karine.
Warm hello to my beloved Sinfonia Toronto family from New York. I am wishing you a healthy, vibrant, and an incredibly exciting new season of music making ahead. Cheers.
Thank you, Karine, and best wishes to all in the Big Apple. Time to look now at the auction again and see how the wine packages are doing. So I'm just guessing that those will be the first to go, and if not, imagine having such a nice assortment of vino just show up at your front door. Sounds like a good plan to me. But here's a question for you. If you had to name a composer who has had the most CD sales for their most famous piece, who would it be? Bach, maybe? Good guess. Or is it the guy with the big anniversary this year? Is it Beethoven? Or is it Wolfi? Is it Mozart? Well, those are up there, and they certainly deserve to be, but they're not number one. The most popular, best-selling piece of all time is Vivaldi's Four Seasons. So much so that other composers felt compelled to create their own Four Seasons. The famous tango king, Astor Piazzolla, inserted quotes from Vivaldi into his Four Seasons of Buenos Aires, which is a wonderful contemporary piece that Sinfonia Toronto has performed. And the orchestra has also commissioned and premiered the Four Seasons of Canada by Toronto composer Ron Royer. Now, Vivaldi wrote a tremendous number of other compositions besides the Four Seasons, including over 500 concertos. And many of his concertos were for solo instruments, but many were for multiple instruments, and some for rare combinations like a quadruple concerto for flute, oboe, violin, and bassoon, but more typically for multiples of the same instrument, like a concerto for 2 trumpets or 3 or 4 violins. So this brings us now to a special multiple performance. If you have been wondering what 5 times Marcus in the event announcement about this gala was all about, the mystery will now be revealed. Marcus Scholtes is Sinfonia Toronto's associate concertmaster. In addition to his violin career, Marcus is also a fine pianist. In fact, a few seasons ago, he was the featured soloist for one of the orchestra's concerts with both instruments. Amazing. Marcus played Finzi's Eclogue for piano and string orchestra and Mozart's Violin Concerto No. 2 in the same concert. In my spare time, I vacuum. So now you're going to hear Marcus in the Concerto for 4 violins, Opus 3, No. 4 in E minor from Vivaldi's collection called L'Estro Armonico, or the harmonic inspiration. Marcus is playing all 4 violin parts and accompanying himself with the orchestra part on the piano. So there are 5 of them. Have fun! goodness, did you see the neckties? All the violin Marcuses had different neckties. I love it. Well, now you're going to head straight into some musical treats. Oh, wait, maybe not. Another guest is about to appear.
Hello everybody, I'm currently talking to you from my backyard in Austria, and I wanted to send all my love and the best wishes to the amazing musicians of Sinfonia Toronto and their artistic director Nurhan Arman. I played with them already multiple times and each experience was just so lovely. So if you may know, they're live streaming each one of the concerts for the upcoming season and you should definitely check it out. Meanwhile, my cat Piso and I want to wish you all the best and stay healthy. Bye!
Thank you, Eliso. So nice to see you. All the way from Austria, a very special friend and true violin prodigy, Eliso Gojibedashvili soloed with Sinfonia Toronto the first time when she was only 14 years old and just about knocked everyone out of their seats with her playing. She has returned several times since then. She's a hit with audiences here in Toronto and also in Barrie, where the Concert Association has asked that the orchestra bring her back whenever possible. Amazing. Maestro Arman makes a point of supporting young, up-and-coming talent and helps to put them in the spotlight when they're first starting out. Eliso plays all over Europe now while continuing her studies in Germany at the ripe old age of 20. Yeah. Now, back to music. First up, yours truly. Here is one of the greatest mezzo arias of all time, Mon cœur s'ouvre à ta voix, or My Heart Opens to the Sound of Your Voice, from Camille Saint-Saëns' opera, Samson et Dalila. So this aria is meant to be a vocal seduction. Delilah is trying to seduce Samson into telling her the secret of his strength, which he does, because the melody is so deliciously seductive. How could Samson, or any man, resist? After Delilah's ditty, Nurhan will lead the orchestra in a Pops favorite with Brahms' Hungarian Dance No. 5. So watch for what starts happening partway through. The musicians just can't resist the pull of the music. But first, biblical bad girl, Delilah. such fun. So much fun, right? This is the orchestra you want to support this evening so they can carry on this season and keep playing for both live audiences and online listeners of their live streams. They also have some great plans for online activities for students, and you too can play your part by bidding in the silent auction tonight or donating anytime on the orchestra's website link to the secure Canada Helps service, which sends out instant charitable receipts. There are just a few more minutes to bid in the auction while we wrap up our time together with another wonderful waltz that has also become a signature piece for the orchestra. They sometimes delight their audiences by using this as an encore, complete with a special feature that makes it so perfect for the party this evening. Here is wishing you win all the online auction items your heart desires. And I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming to our virtual gala this evening. And now, for the grand finale, here is the famous waltz from the Jazz Suite by Dmitri Shostakovich.